Back to another episode of Insights with Vinny Mac. My name is Vince, aka Vinny Mac. Thank you very much for joining me for another episode, another insight. I really love having you here and I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting from all the different people. Thank you very much for all your feedback that you have been providing. For those of you that haven't yet, please by all means subscribe to the channel, like the content, drop me your feedback. I would love to hear from you, love to hear your thoughts and your insights. Okay, on this channel I provide you with insights from a godly perspective as well as from a coaching perspective, bringing the two together to give you the best of both worlds, to help equip you, taking you from where you are to where you are capable of being. Last week I went through somewhat of a storm in my own personal life and in my personal walk, and it was extremely hard and it took a lot out of me, because not only did I get attacked financially, but I got attacked emotionally on a personal level, and it just felt like, so much was like just coming against me at a very, very crucial time. And it just felt like everything was coming against me in that particular time. But this particular insight is to help equip you so that when you are going through the storms in your life, then like the book of James says, you too can count it all joy when you are going through challenges. Okay, so these insights, or this particular insight, is going to help shift your perspective in the middle of the storm. It's going to help equip you so that you can handle the storms better when it comes your way. I'm just going to be sharing a few simple insights with you, and we're just going to be winging it as we go along, because I don't want to label them and number them, but I'm just going to be sharing them in this particular manner. The one thing that I did in the middle of my particular trial and my storm is I started auditing myself in the middle of that storm. It is extremely crucial that you be able to do that. You need to be able to audit yourself in the middle of the storm, because by auditing yourself, you are collaborating your thinking in terms, or your brain starts collaborating in terms of the challenges that is in front of you. It starts shifting focus and it starts searching for solutions. So what you do is, in the middle of that storm, when I say audit yourself, you start asking questions. You start saying to yourself, right, what is it that I can learn from this particular trial? I know that sounds very silly and it sounds very stupid, and when you try the first few times it feels a bit awkward, but try this. This is what gets me through my challenges very, very quickly. So I ask myself, what is it that I can learn from this particular trial? What is the purpose of this particular trial? What did I do to put myself in this position that I'm experiencing this particular trial right now? Because you see, deep down our beliefs are creating realities for us as well. And if you're not asking yourself these questions, you're not going to find the core beliefs that are actually creating these realities, and you're going to find yourself in an infinite loop where you're going to be continuously going through storms that look very, very similar. It feels kind of like deja vu. That's because your beliefs are so hard-coded and they keep bringing up the same things over and over. So that is why it is so important to start auditing yourself in the middle of the storms, okay? So that's the first one that I want to share with you. Second one is, understand your values. I understand my values. That is why in the middle of storms, I can relate back to my core values, and I can say, well, this is who I am and this is what I'm all about. In the book of Proverbs, in Proverbs 10 verse 9, it says that, whoever walks with integrity walks securely. See, integrity is one of my values that I hold on to very, very tightly. So when I go through difficult challenges, I can hold to my integrity, and it secures me, it centers me. And once I'm centered and once I'm secure, I can start focusing on finding solutions in the middle of the storm. And that is always what we're trying to do. We're trying to find solutions in the center of the storm so that we can break free from whatever it is that is holding us in bondage, that is pressing us down, that is coming against us. Another thing that actually helps me in the middle of the storm is also reframing, the circumstances that are coming against me. This is a simple coaching principle, but it comes down to you as well, applying these principles in your particular life. Now, reframing can come in different aspects and different views. One of them is obviously the meaning that you interpret verbally to things that you're experiencing in your life. When we go through storms, we tend to speak negatively in the middle of the storm. Some people would end up saying, I'm such an idiot, I'm such a klutz, I always do the stupid things in the middle of the dumbest things that just put me into these situations. Now, you don't have to be that hard on yourself, and you don't have to put yourself down. We can be our own worst critics at the best of times and at the worst of times. And especially at the worst of times, we can be our greatest critics, and we can just keep pushing ourselves down to such a level that we cannot even rise up anymore. We don't feel the desire to rise above the storm. But this is where, your vocabulary is so extremely important. And that is just a freebie tip, what? Upgrade your vocabulary, because don't underestimate the power of your words. Don't underestimate the power of how they can create a different order for you in terms of your life. When I do something stupid, I don't say, oh, Vance, you stupid moron or you idiot. This is something that I learned from Marissa Pierce, so I'll give her credit for that. When I go through something, when I do something really stupid, I'll tell myself, oh my word, Vance, that was like, you're a real silly bully. That was like, duh. And you see that I've taken the power away. I've still acknowledged that it was something stupid, but I've taken the power away by redirecting my words, reframing my words. What is a silly bully? I mean, come on, it doesn't make sense at all, right? But instead of calling myself a stupid idiot or a moron or, the other word that comes after that, I call myself a silly bully. One, it lightens my mood. So immediately when I do something stupid, I say, oh, bunch of silly bully. It lightens my mood. I've acknowledged that I've done something stupid, so I'm not lying to myself as well. So the subconscious brain says, okay, I understand, I relate, you've done something stupid and you've acknowledged it. You see, most of us try to pretend that we didn't do these things, but we do, and our subconscious mind picks it up and it registers. The subconscious mind is stronger than the conscious mind. So that is why we always say, imagination is stronger than willpower. And that is a topic for another video. I'll get into that as well. But that is another tactic that I use. I use reframing in the middle of my storms. And then obviously the one of the most crucial aspects that help me get through difficult times is relationships. God's word speaks on several occasions where it says two is better than one. When one falls, the other can help him back up. It also says where two or more gather in my name, there I am present. And that just comes back to relationships. And if you go through the Bible, right through the Bible from the beginning to the end, the core focus has always been on love and on relationships. So having strong relationships, having strong people in your lives helps center you as when you go through the storms. Being able to have that conversations with people that can just, give you that motivation, give you that inspiration to lift yourself up, also helps you get through the storms so much more quicker with so much more ease. No one is an island. For the longest time of my life, I used to think I'm an island. I need to do it on my own. I need to keep my challenges to myself. It is only when I learn to lean on other people, have that relationships with other people, that I started developing this ability to get through the storms that much more quicker, that much more effectively. And then the last thing that I want to share with you is, if you've been following me, you've heard me say this before. It's a Tony Robbins quote: where attention goes, energy flows. The easiest way to explain that for you is like using the example of driving a car, especially when you're driving at pace, at high speed. If you're driving the car at high speed and suddenly something catches your eye on the side of the road or outside of the vehicle, and you start shifting your focus and you start looking at that, whether it's just for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and you start coming back again to the road and you're focusing here, but remember you're looking there and you focused intently on whatever it was that distracted you for that moment in time. When you come back to the road, bringing your focus back to the road, you will find that the car actually veered off in that direction. It's sort of like an inverted force of gravity that was just pulling you towards that particular direction, because that is where all your focus was, that is where your intensity was, your attention, everything was in that direction. That's exactly what happens, or what I do in terms of the storms, right? So in the past, I always used to focus on the problem so much that I used to blow the problem up, that my whole energy, everything was aligned with the problem that I'm facing. And that is why the storms always used to seem to last longer, and they used to be more painful and more intense in my life. Now when I go through the storms, especially like the one that I did last week, I'll be honest with you, for the first 2 days I didn't apply this. It was only here from the third day onwards that I caught a wake up and I said, what are you busy doing right now? You're busy doing what you're always doing, always used to do in terms of challenges. You focus on the challenge, you focus on the problem. And I started shifting my focus. I started speaking different words in terms of the problem. I started changing the way I think in terms of the problem. And I started addressing my beliefs as to what the value that I'm attributing to these problems or these challenges that are coming my way. So by changing my focus, by changing my view, I was able to come through that storm much more stronger, much more quicker than what I would have if I hadn't changed my focus in the midst of that storm. That is why it's so crucial that you learn to change your focus in the midst of the storm. That is why James says, count it all joy when you go through storms, because now you're getting the chance to learn something. You're getting the chance to equip yourself, to strengthen yourself, to take yourself from level to level. And yes, I understand, and I know that it's extremely difficult to count it all joy when you're going through storms. But these are things that are extremely crucial, and it helps us develop in terms of the storm, in terms of where we are and where we want to go with our lives. So just a quick recap on what we spoke about today. So because this is really important, and if you really apply this to your life, you can get through the storms so much more quicker, so much more effectively. Right. So the first thing that we spoke about on the inside was, we said, audit yourself in terms of the challenges. Ask yourself questions, empowering questions. Get meaning from what you are going through and why you are going through this particular challenge. Then the next thing that we looked at is, we said, your values. Your values really determine how you handle yourself in the midst of the storm. What is important to you in the midst of the storm, and how are you empowering the situation that you're finding yourself in. So really become clear on what your values are, and I'll do a video at a later stage with regards to values as well. Okay, then the next thing that we spoke about was, we said, reframe the words that you speak in regards to the situation. Change your vocabulary, upskill your vocabulary so that you can use stronger, less intensive negative words in terms of trials and challenges that you are facing when you are going through storms. Okay, we also said, relationships. Relationships are extremely crucial. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich speaks about masterminds, but he speaks about it in terms of business, in terms of entrepreneurship and development. But relationships are also very important in terms of helping you through difficult times. So build masterminds with people that can help you get through difficulties in your life. And the last one, like I said, for me the most important one is, where attention goes, energy flows. Your focus. What are you focusing on in the middle of the storm? Once you start redirecting your focus, your energy starts flowing in a different direction as well. Start finding solutions to the challenges much quicker. And even if you don't find the solutions, you find that your energy levels and your thinking patterns change to such an extent that even though you're facing a trial, you are able to handle it so much better. So I hope that you got value from these, and I really do hope that you apply this when you find yourself in terms of a storm or in terms of trials going forward. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your feedback from what I have shared. And like I said, if you haven't yet, by all means do subscribe to the channel, like the content, because it does help me put out the content to a wider audience. And I am trying to impact as many people with positive coaching and Christian content as I possibly can. So by you simply just liking or commenting, you are helping me elevate the channel to a wider audience. So thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to wrap it up here. So for now, this is Vinnie Mac saying, change your thinking, change your world.